We got a chance to sleep on it. We got a chance to watch other people's opinions on it. We had our coffee. It's time to talk about it. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and I'm gonna be reacting to your hot takes, which I haven't read yet. I like to read them as I am, responding to them. That way you can see my true reaction. I posted yesterday on the community tab here. Hey, send me your unpopular opinion about Monday Night Raw on Netflix debut, and I hope you guys came through. Otherwise, I'm recording a video for nothing. But before I get into all of that, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I upload a new video like this or when I go live. I do live watch-alongs for Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, PLEs, whatever I'm available to. Stop. I see you. Whatever I'm available, I will be here live to watch wrestling with you. And we have a great community, so consider subscribing, consider also joining. There's different tiers. You have access to emotes that you can use on the live chat. You have access to live streams that I do for members only, and you have access to videos that are members only. Let's get into your unpopular opinions. I'm very much looking forward to this. Let's see what you guys had to say. Like the hug from The Rock. Of course he did. I mean, that he got a big time Rock rub right then and there. That's awesome. I gotta tell you something. That show last night, they made it for people that are not very familiar with wrestling, and the kind of people that they were catering to last night probably don't know Cody Rhodes, but they know The Rock. So to hear The Rock tell you, hey, Cody's a big deal, Roman is a big deal, for an audience that might have not been familiar with that, it's very important to have those figures. Have The Undertaker come out and endorse Rhea Ripley. This is for the people that were like, I don't know who she is, but I know who he is, and he thinks she's badass. So yeah, of course Cody liked the Raw. I mean, it was a little bit of, there's tension there between them though. I don't know what they got planned for Rhea. Probably Io. But Liv should have retained. Liv had a lot more contenders left, and Rhea already faced everyone on that roster. We forgot how mid Rhea's run was, aside from Rhea being that bitch. I don't think her run was mid. I think that... So one of my big things that I hope change in 2025 with the creative in WWE is I'm not very... Like, I don't like how they book these champions. I do think that we saw a lot of growth in Liv. Liv grew on me a lot this year. So there's that. But I don't think that I think she's not the only one under the underwhelming title reign era. And that's counting Gunther, that's counting LA Knight, that's counting, you know what I mean? Like, this is an issue that is not a Rhea Ripley issue. I wanted Rhea to get her title back just because I don't like when people relinquish their titles. It's sad, it's due to injury, it's not due to the story. But I do think they did the best with Liv and making it part of the story. I think this is the most unpopular opinion that might not be as unpopular as you think it is, because I've seen it a lot on social media, and I even said it last night. I felt a little bit bad for Liv because I thought that Liv had a great reign, but we're crowning a new era. We're kind of like resetting things. I want to see where they go with Rhea, because with this whole transfer portal window matrix thing, she might get some new contenders here. Maybe they'll send Liv to SmackDown. You don't know. We just saw Bayley, having a conversation with Adam Pearce. Might shake up the women's roster a little bit. We'll see what happens. We also have a possibly returning Becky. We also have a possible returning Charlotte. We have 2 new championships. So I think that the women's division is about to get a little bit of a shake up. We'll see what happens. But I mean, I told you guys yesterday when I was live streaming, I wouldn't be upset if Liv retained. We have another one from Joseph. Rhea Ripley should have not been women's champion. Let me see if I have it somewhere else. Unpopular opinion. Rhea ending Liv's reign after poorly booked run due to bad creative. Unpopular opinion. Liv Morgan should have retained title until WrestleMania. There's a few of them that are Liv Morgan should have retained. And like I told you, I wouldn't have been upset, but it's like, who does Liv also has left to face outside of Rhea? You know what I mean? I don't think it's a Liv problem. I think it's a how do we book these champions problems. I've seen a lot of people say that Triple H doesn't know how to book a babyface champ. By Triple H, it's not that he doesn't know how to book, it's that a lot of the champions are the least interesting things on the show. Look at the matches that you chose to put on your Netflix premiere, right? The 2 more interesting ones didn't even have a title attached to them, and that had the biggest names on your company right now. CM Punk and Seth Rollins main eventing, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa opening, Punk and Roman being probably their 2 biggest draws right now. They don't have a title. I think that we gotta start like making the champions a priority. We'll see what they do with Liv, but rest assured that Liv Morgan retaining is not an unpopular opinion by any means. Jay Uso should have lost. I agree. I agree, Justin. I thought that Drew had it in the bag. However, I do think that last night's show, it was going to be a very much crowd favorites are going to win. I had that vibe from the beginning since I saw The Rock not be the final boss. I was like, oh, so that's what we're doing. And when you're like a hardcore fan, you know when this show is just not for you. I felt that last night. So as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, they're going to go with all the crowd favorites. And of course, storyline-wise, Drew winning would have probably made a lot more sense. But for the pop, for the spectacle of the first Raw on Netflix, they went with Jay. I hope this doesn't like derail where we were at with Drew McIntyre. But I agree with you. I thought Drew was winning that. And I wanted Seth to win too. Which is crazy because if you think about it, Seth is a crowd favorite, but CM Punk is just on a whole different atmosphere. Unpopular opinion, bring Hulk Hogan back. After last night, it's all over the mainstream news. It's all over the mainstream news. I saw it. They had like TMC was covering. I saw Variety covered. Complex was covering. Everybody's talking about the reaction that LA had for Hulk Hogan. And I gotta tell you something. I don't think this is attached to politics like a lot of people are saying it is, because Undertaker came out. He didn't get booed, and he was very open about his politic beliefs, you know, during election era. I don't want to get political, but I think there's a lot more to the Hulk Hogan thing. So listen, Melissa, it is an unpopular opinion because I mean, Hulk Hogan has a huge fan base, and I feel about him the same way that I feel about Vince McMahon, where it's like, okay, I'm going to acknowledge what you did because of how much we love wrestling and what we have now because of what you were, but it still doesn't mean that you're a person I want to see around or think that you're a good person at all. Unpopular opinion, everybody loves Hulk Hogan. Second-hand embarrassment for Hulk Hogan. I didn't like the opening segment. Rock looked like an old man hugging Cody, and Cody being in the crowd. Yeah, Cody being in the crowd was a little bit weird, and I know I made fun of it throughout the stream, but I'm like, if that's your quarterback, if that's your WWE Undisputed Champ, he should have had something to do in the show to some capacity. The issue is that we don't even know what the rosters are going to be. I mean, because they're showing you these video packages for Gunther. I almost feel like there was more effort put into getting people to know who Gunther is. So I have a feeling that Gunther might be the one staying on Netflix. And also, if Cody's not going to be on Mondays, then maybe that's why they didn't use him. I didn't like that he was on the crowd. I thought he should have had something. And he did take part on the tribal comeback, but it was just because of his feud with Kevin Owens. I did think it was very smart the way they did that, because it's going to get people to be like, whoa, what's going on there? And maybe they'll go to SmackDown. But yeah, I didn't like the Rock came out as TKO Rock, and all of us need to just learn to tell the difference when we're getting executive Rock and when Rock is a performer. Last night, he wasn't performing. Unpopular opinion, Drew McIntyre should have won. Yeah, we covered that one a little bit. I agree with you. I don't think that this show, but like, it didn't even feel like a show. There was no segments with like storylines. There was no continuation. There was no angles being set up. I also need them. Unpopular opinion, they need to work on what they do with these ads, because people are seeing things that some of us are not seeing. And like last night, I tuned into the post show, and Kathy Kelly was like, telling the news that you were out of line with that Kendrick Lamar line. And I'm like, what Kendrick Lamar line? And apparently it's a promo that was cut like in one of those backstage segments that the ones that had ads didn't see. So they gotta like figure that part out. Ricky says, unpopular opinion, Liv Morgan and Solo should have won their match. I don't think that Solo should have won his match. I think that it was like very, and I know you're going to be like, you're biased, you love Roman. I think it was always very clear that Roman was going to end up being the tribal chief. As much as Solo has grown, I am well aware that Solo has been incredible, but he was always seen as a fake tribal chief. I love the way that he wrestled last night, where he was so evil, and he has this like evil intent behind his wrestling, but we don't see him like that anymore. So I had a hard time buying it yesterday after, you losing to like LA Knight just 2 weeks ago. So I love Solo, but I don't think that they booked him for me to say. I mean, there was a couple of false finishes that I thought Solo was gonna win, and I'm like, oh holy shit. But even when I was like that scared, I don't see him as the tribal chief, and it's like, that's the Roman thing. Like, as great as Solo has been on this run, it's being a copycat of what Roman did, where he should probably start doing something more original. This one is a great one. It's an unpopular opinion for Fernando. He says, hey, I expected more to happen. A lot of us did. a lot of us didn't think it was gonna be like a here's WWE showcase, you know, and some of us thought it was gonna be an episode of Raw with stories and all that. But I think once I saw the fancy opening and how much they were going all out for this, I realized, oh, they think this is a PLE. They think this is a PLE, and we're not gonna get what we want. I expected more surprises, but no. Think about last night as a portfolio presentation that WWE was putting together for a whole new audience. And that's what it was. It's like almost like if you're putting together a PowerPoint presentation, that's what WWE was doing. So they just played it very, very safe. Unpopular opinion for my girl Samantha, whether it's tequila, beer, or a blunt, aka Sage. I love that. Are all things that make you a great wrestler. Crazy, some of the things that we saw last night. The Rock drinking and driving, Travis Scott walking out, smoking the blunt. Oh, Jey Uso was hilarious about it on the post show, talking about how he didn't pass the blunt. Drew McIntyre made a post today about how he had a contact high or secondhand high. I think that is hilarious. But it did feel like it was a little bit like, it was still PG, but it still felt different. The fuck you solo chants were not bleeped, and that was a refreshing change. With all the advertising, I was disappointed there was no Prime. Yeah, me too. Me too. But I wonder if this is going to be different. I want to see what they do on SmackDown. If we see the giant bottle of SmackDown, then maybe Logan Paul is trying to advertise to cable TV. I mean, I'm not sure. But I don't even think we've seen the Prime logo in the ring in a while. We just see the giant Prime set up by the announce table. So, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I was disappointed that they said Logan Paul comes back to Raw and all they did was a cute video package and him saying, hi, it's my time from the crowd. Okay, Tiffany Stratton. And last but not least, we have unpopular opinion. If Roman and Solo, who are on SmackDown, could have a match on Raw Netflix premiere, then why not make the Tiffany cashing on Raw? Why they had to give all the spots to the bloody bloodlines? Everything. I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of it, but I'm pretty sure that Roman is now a Netflix person. They had a promo afterwards that said that the Tribal Chief celebration, acknowledgement celebration, is going to take place on January 27th. That's a Monday. I have a feeling that Roman is staying on Monday, so technically speaking, the match was for a Monday Night Raw performer. You guys already know I'm going to defend my Tribal Chief until the end. Thank you so much for all your submissions. I will be live tonight to watch NXT New Year's Evo with you guys, so make sure to tune in. Until next time, adios. Mwah.